Over the years, I've been very impressed with HTP concept presentations at conferences, and finally I have Sven Arn, the man and brain behind all this, with me, partner and managing director. Why are your presentations always, without exception, so good?
Thank you for the compliment. But obviously, I'm only a part of HTP, and HTP is a group of people who are all very passionate about the work that they do, and I think that clearly fuels into the types of presentations that we end up with at conferences, but also I think sometimes, or I hope for our clients. Probably one of the key principles of HTP research can be found, or HTP concept, sorry, can be found in our research background, which came from, we developed from a small advertising agency in the late 80s. And one of the principles of the founder, Thomas Schindelbeck, was that we needed to make research as interesting for clients as advertising is. So one of our principles was always that we would never do research just for the sake of doing research, but always be very clear in the messages that we're communicating to clients, and make sure that those messages are actually understood, make sure that the messages are bought into, and that they create a certain engagement also for our clients and for the people who we expose to our presentations. So that's one of the reasons why I think we develop presentations in the way that we do, using a combination always of the verbal, but also the visual and interactive elements.
So this is not just to show off for the ESOMAR audience, but this is every day?
It's as much as it can be, it's every day. Obviously, in everyday research, sometimes presentations need to be very geared to the needs of the client in that particular moment. Sometimes they're a little bit more entertaining. Sometimes they're a little bit more theoretical, and they're always anchored in the facts, in the things that we find out in research. But really, we do have an aim of making sure that our presentations always catch the eye of the audience and engage and involve the audience, because otherwise the messages are worthless.
I believe many people look upon HTP as a German company, but you have subsidiaries in India and other countries perhaps too?
Switzerland and India, and we have 2 big offices in Germany.
Mm. Yeah. So how do you do exporting your philosophy and your engagement and research to other countries?
Well, I think, like I said at the beginning, a lot has to do with the people at HTP, and one of the reasons we opened an office in India was obviously the big reason. India is a massive market and a massively developing market. It's also the gateway between Europe and Asia. We're doing a lot of work in Asia, and India is in many ways sort of between the two continents. But a lot of it has to do with the people. So one of the reasons for opening an office in India was that we had somebody in our Berlin office, Ayobamidele Gnedig, who has also presented at various ESOMAR conferences, who was very passionate about opening an office in India, working in India. So we used the passion of this individual to slightly sort of determine our strategy with regard to geographical spread. So I think that the importance really does lie in the people and the people in the company, and that's really, I think, what makes HTP Concept the company that it is.
At this the qualitative conference now in Istanbul, you have 2 presentations, and you have, as you said, you've had plenty of presentations before. What does ESOMAR mean to you? What does it mean for you as a company to present at ESOMAR?
Well, ESOMAR has very much become the platform for research companies, for research buyers and clients, and I think my first ESOMAR event was probably about 12 or 13 years ago, when ESOMAR was still called, I think, the European Society of Market Research. And I think ESOMAR has done a fantastic job in becoming more than just a European society, but actually becoming a global platform for the exchange of ideas. And I've certainly seen in the last few years a big development towards new technology, a big development towards new ways of thinking about consumers and new ways of integrating research and marketing. So not just seeing itself as an association for research professionals who are exchanging on the theories of research, but an association of professionals in research and marketing and advertising to actually promote the use of research and promote new ideas and new developments in research. And that's why ESOMAR is very important for us.
And does it give you new clients?
I think that it's probably not a sort of a one-to-one, you present a paper and then you have a new client. I think it has helped on the one hand to it makes us think about the work that we're doing, so it helps us to refine and develop our methodologies, our tools and our thinking. It provides the papers that we write, I think also internally within the company, provide inspiration. Claim is inspiration for marketing, so that's a very, very important part of what we do. And I think that in the long run, obviously the exposure does mean that you become more known and people know more about the work that you do, the style that you work, and that can ultimately then lead to new client relationships.
In your presentation today, which was of course brilliant as always, there was one thing that I found even more interesting than the others. That was that you showed a lot of commercials that had failed or that were not good. I guess you need to have permission from these companies to show these TV ads.
Well, we have to, just to clarify, we didn't say in the presentation that the commercials were not good. What we did say was that we talked to a certain target audience, which were young Turkish origin or young Turks living in Germany, and for this target audience the ads didn't work in an optimal way, and that was really what we were trying to get across in the presentation. Because the research was funded by ourselves, in this case we used the ads in our own research, and I think through that we have the legitimacy to use them and to present them at an event like this. And like I say, the purpose of the research wasn't to give a full representative ad test on these ads that we showed, but it was really to understand how they worked. We used them as stimulus to understand how communication works with the particular target audience that we were interested in.
Thank you, and I look forward to your colleagues' presentation tomorrow as well.
Thank you very much.